Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to the Game According to Me podcast. This month is it's basically it's all about football. The start of football, college football is back, pro football is back. Yes, yes, yes. And we've had a very interesting first month of both college football and professional football. Let's start with college football, as really the mainstays, Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State, even though this past Saturday Ohio State had a very, very tough test against Penn State, all of those are still undefeated. And how about my team? I did not go to Notre Dame, but I've been rooting for Notre Dame ever since I was a little kid. Notre Dame is now 5-0, and Notre Dame is now on its way to the national championship, or at least the playoffs, I should say. All Notre Dame has to do is just stay the course and stay what's in front of them. Because if you take a look at them, they should beat every team on their schedule. They are better than them, especially with Ian Book at the start. There is great offense with Ian Book. He's a lot better than Brendan Wimbush. And I think Brian Kelly did. I think Brian Kelly knows that, he's probably kind of on the hot seat because Notre Dame should be one of these teams that is always fighting for a national championship. Always, it should always. Notre Dame should never be looking for, looking for being part of like the New Day Six or just making it to making it to a bowl game. Notre Dame should be now always trying to make the college football playoff. That's that type of team that Notre Dame has, and that's the kind of legacy that they own. I should say. I mean, that's a better one. That's the kind of legacy. They've always been a national championship, contender. Notre Dame has, and that's what it should be. I think that's what a lot of Notre Dame wants. But Brian Kelly hasn't had a very interesting record. I mean, the other year, a couple of years ago, that was when Deshaun Kaiser was there, and man, that was so disappointing. That should have been the national championship team, but somehow it just didn't work out, and I don't know what happened. So, but this year, if they stay the course, their defense is effective. They held down the Stanford running back Bryce Love to only one big run, and they basically kept him in check. So that was awesome, and they really just put it on Stanford. And now you get other teams, you know, they still might be a challenge. Don't get me wrong. Like even though Virginia Tech lost to Old Dominion, and Northwestern hasn't been what Northwestern usually is. And of course, Navy's going to be hard, and Pitt is going to be hard, and of course, the last game, USC, is going to be totally hard. These are still games that you should go out and you should win and you should beat. And if they do that, they're 12-0. If they're in the college football playoff, I have no absolutely qualms about that. That's no doubt about it. And if they won't be, then there will be this. There will be heads will roll if Notre Dame's not in the college football playoff. Now, having said that, get back quickly to some other things, other stories. We had the story of they're talking about Ohio State. They were able to make it through with their coach suspended, and then Urban Meyer came back, and it said Saturday. They had a tough test against Penn State, but they did win. I talked about Old Dominion. The Old Dominion. I didn't even know Old Dominion was in the FBS, but apparently they are, and they took down Virginia Tech, which was very very interesting. So That was a couple weeks ago. And how about our guy, Herb Edwards? Oh, in the first couple of weeks, Arizona State looked to be a team that was going to shock the world. Now they've come back down to earth, but still, I mean, for me, Herb Edwards is a person that should probably have a job for life. Because I think that Herb Edwards he is good enough. I think he's probably good enough as a coach that he can coach up uh, guys and turn them into national title contenders every 4 to 6 years, something like that. Especially in the Pac-12, especially Arizona State, because that's where a lot of the attractive women are, and so he should be able to get those 4 and 5 star recruits needed. But I also think, more importantly, he is one. Him and Larry Smith, I think. Now, again, let's also say this: we don't know what happens behind closed doors. We don't know if they would do something like what Art Browse would do, or do something that the Reminder did, or whatever. We don't think they are that type of person. Um, but I would say that Herman was the type of person that he is perfect for turning young men into men, and that's his main objective is to win. But that's the second objective. The second objective is to turn the young men that come to him and make them into men. And I think he can do a real good job at Arizona State. And they've been a favorite of mine to watch after first couple of weeks. I saw that last game. What was the game? Was it Arizona State and San Diego State? Arizona San Diego State, and that was kind of a heartbreaker. But yeah, rooting for San Diego State. And we got some other ones good too. They like LSU has been a surprise team this year in college football. Georgia is of course still a force to be reckoned with, and there's many others. So this is going to come down to the wire for this national championship. But as a Notre Dame fan, I'm just hoping that they stay the course, do what they need to do, take down these next 7 teams, and make it into the college football playoff. By the way, if you guys want to see what my feelings are on the college football playoff, I did a video, on my YouTube channel, AJ Trip. Make sure you go and you check that out. Make sure you also go over there and subscribe. I tell you why the college football playoff should not be just 4 teams, but why it should be 8 teams, or even better, 16 teams. But so you can go there and check it out. But now let's go ahead and let's go to the NFL. That has been a fantastic first month of NFL for offense. It was incredible. We had Patrick Mahomes doing what he was doing in Kansas City, just lighting up the scoreboard, and he had 13 touchdowns, no interceptions. He plays tonight against the Denver Broncos. Then we had some other fantastic shots of people shouting out. The Cleveland Browns got their first win in over 600 and some odd days. So a couple of Thursday nights, and then this past Thursday night we had a fantastic game against the Vikings and the Rams, and Jared Goff looked like a stud. And once again, when I talk about my team, the Chicago Bears, locally, there were so many people here locally just down on Mitch Trubisky because all these young guys were showing promise. And they either showed promise last year, like with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, or the young guys in this year, like you said, you saw something in Baker Mayfield, you saw something in Patrick Mahomes, you saw something, last year with Deshaun Watson. You saw a little bit of something with Josh Allen, right? And you hadn't seen that with Mitch Trubisky. He was very inaccurate down the field throws. He was one read and doing some things. And listen, yesterday he still made some mistakes and still missed some throws. But my God, when you throw 6 touchdown passes in a game as a Chicago Bears quarterback, I would assume I have not listened to the radio. I won't listen to a few, but I would be surprised if people aren't like salivating the fact that what he did. So it should be interesting. The Bears have a bye this week. Who also have a bye? The team he beat Tampa Bay, and Fitzmagic ran out apparently yesterday, and that's kind of a shame because he would have liked to see Ryan Fitzpatrick, continue on his pace. But they're probably not going to go that route. They're going to go with Jameis Winston, and they come up off the bye. So Miami had a good start. Lost yesterday to New England. The Oakland Raiders, they beat the Cleveland Browns yesterday. They're finally off the schneid. Then we had this. The Dallas Cowboys seem to be able to win at home and not on the road. That's very interesting. Now with the Green Bay Packers, and how about this? Speaking of the Green Bay Packers, there were 2 ties in the first 2 weeks. Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Green Bay and Minnesota in week 2. Pittsburgh and Cleveland were in week 1. In the last 2 weeks, week 3 and week 4, there have been, but it's come down to the final minute of the game, the final seconds even, where we were so close to having another tie. Last week, I think it was the Saints in Atlanta, and this week it was not only was it Indianapolis and Houston, but it was also the Raiders and Cleveland. Cleveland could have had another tie if that's something incredible. So, having said that, I don't want the overtime to change. The overtime is what it is. I think for me, I would set it back at 15, and I would just do what the NBA does. Now I know it's not considered to be safe for the players or anything like that, but it would get rid of the tie. And actually, if you think about it, I'm not all that upset about a tie. I'm really not. But if other people are so upset about a tie, if the players are so upset at a tie, we have Frank Wright on 4th and 4 in the Indianapolis-Houston game. Go for it because he didn't want to settle for a tie in his own territory. If the players don't want to have a tie, then what you did then just have them play another quarter until somebody is leading at that quarter. So we go back to 15 minutes, and if at 15 minutes there is no leader, then we go to another quarter, and then you keep doing it like that. But there's kind of no reason for it. They do it in the playoffs. That's how I've done it in the playoffs. Although except it is different in the playoffs, but you know what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, this has been a fantastic first month of the NFL football. Biggest story has been the roughing the passer calls. They showed a story where first week it was bad. It was 16. Second week it was 6 on a normal, and then we got 15 last week. I think we had 5 this week so far. So we'll see what happens tonight. But that's going to be a big story going through the rest of the season. So, all right, folks. I know there's some other things going on. It's baseball. I usually talk about wrestling, but this opening month, this had to be about football. It just had to be because football's back. So, thank you guys for listening. This is your boy AJ Tripp signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. I am out. See you guys next month.